Howdy, folks. I'm a cantaloupe marmalade,
And I'm Amber, slowly descending into the void.
and here's some more Void Reddit. That means it's invalid. Alright, folks, our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for not carrying my wife's purse? Well, that depends. Is it full of lead bricks? I'm a 32-year-old male, and I work fully remote, and my wife is a 30-year-old female, and she works 2 to 3 days in an office. On days where she commutes in the morning, I wake up early with her, make us a French press coffee while she gets ready, and I walk her to the ferry, which is approximately a 5-minute walk, and then approximately a 5 to 10-minute wait for the ferry onboarding. On our walk, she insists that I carry her purse, saying that her bag is heavy and that she has to carry it all day, and that if I carry it on the walk, it would mean a lot to her. I told her that she's putting me in an awkward situation where I need to either A, carry her purse, which I would prefer not to do, or B, have an argument first thing in the morning because I refuse to carry her purse. Maybe I'm just stubborn, but to me, carrying my wife's purse and then standing in line with all the commuters waiting to board the ferry as I hold my wife's purse for her commute into work is a bit emasculating and humiliating. She, on the other hand, thinks that it would be a nice gesture, and the fact that I find it embarrassing for me is irritating because I should A, care more about what she thinks than what other people think, and B, be comfortable enough in my own skin to feel not emasculated or humiliated. So, what do you think? Am I the jerk for telling my wife that I don't want to carry her purse? Alright, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
I think Opie's being a bit of a jerk here for his rationale. Like, if the purse was too heavy for him, or, there are all kinds of reasons why you might not want to carry someone's purse, but it would be a small gesture that would make her life easier, and you're just doing it because you are concerned about strangers thinking that you're less masculine.
I think that both parties here are really pushing each other to do things that they don't want to do, which I think is problematic. I think his rationale is ridiculous. Like, he should be comfortable, but why is she continuing to push him to do something that he's not comfortable with? And it's a little bit of a messy situation.
Well, probably just statistically, he's probably stronger than her. Like, I appreciate it if you carry things for me because there have been times when I've asked you to, carry shopping bags or something because you just have more physical strength.
Yeah, and then they get tossed far away from
No,
me
they
because I'm
don't.
like, no, I refuse to carry this. You want me to carry your heart purse? What do I look like? A heart bag carrier? No.
Well, so one time when we were in college, I had a water bottle with me, not this one, but like this, and it had little pictures of us, and Brian was holding it for me, and someone started like, "Is that yours?" And then he's like, "No, it's Amber's." And he's like, Good, I would have taken away your man card."
Yeah, that's a real risk when you're a man and people see you carrying things you're not supposed to carry, is that you're really at risk of losing your man card. And let me tell you, you don't want to lose that. If you lose your man card, then horrible things happen. I don't know what horrible things, because I don't think I've ever lost my man card. Not me, no. But I do know that I've heard horrible things happen. So, I don't know. I just feel like they're both being hard-headed here and need to work on their communication. So I do think that communication is key here. Maybe couples counseling could go a long way for them to kind of help to work out a better way of communicating with each other, and maybe him figuring out that this isn't really emasculating. Men carry their wives' and girlfriends' purses all the time, and even if it was his own purse, there's still nothing to be embarrassed by for that.
Yeah, well, and I feel like if people see him carrying it, like most people are gonna be like, "Oh, look, that's such a nice thing. He's carrying that for his partner." And anyone who's like, "Oh, he's so emasculated for helping his partner," is just not someone you want to associate with.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what it boils down to. It's like, why would you want to even associate with someone who's going to make fun of you for carrying something for your partner? Helping your partner out? Not a good look for those kinds of people. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright, folks, our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for prancing my students with a joke extra credit question? They mean pranking, but since they're a teacher, I'm going to make fun of them for their spelling. This is the only time I make fun of people for spelling is if they're an instructor. I'm a 42-year-old male. I'm a professor at a mid-sized university in the southern United States. I teach both organic chemistry 1 and 2. My class is known to be more challenging and rigorous than the other sections, but students will take my class because I go above and beyond both to help them understand the material and make it accessible to all my students. However, I don't offer any extra credit of any kind. This is clearly detailed in my syllabus, and I announce this at the beginning of the class. I believe in making exams fair, and I design them so that they properly test the student's ability to remember, understand, and apply the material learned in class, and to critically think about exam questions and problems. I don't add any trick questions, and I also explicitly mention the learning goals for each topic that the student must meet the standard for in order to do well in the class. Extra credit is redundant because if you want to excel in the course, all you have to do is make an effort to remember, understand, and critically think about the material. That being said, I regularly receive a plethora of emails from disgruntled students begging for extra credit or a bump in their final grade. This is really annoying because they try to guilt me into giving them some kind of concession or favor. I got tired of this, so I decided to prank them. I wanted to see if they didn't know that I categorically don't offer extra credit, or as I suspect, they know and still try anyways. On their most recent exam, almost 2 weeks ago, on the last page, I wrote an extra credit, and underneath it I put a Where's Waldo puzzle, but I took out Waldo. I thought the students would find it funny and just be a stupid joke. But when we had convened for the next class and I asked them how the exam went, they all were talking about how none of them could find Waldo. Some of the students even said they spent upwards of 20 minutes on it and prioritized the extra credit over the actual questions. I fessed up and I told them that it was a joke. There was no Waldo in the picture. And the point of it was to emphasize that I don't offer extra credit, so stop asking. Now, students are really mad at me, and I'm getting a lot of complaints about what I did, and word is spreading to other chemistry faculty who are saying that what I did was wrong. All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Yeah, I think OP's being a jerk here. You're tampering with students' grades because if you give students an extra credit question, they're going to assume that the question is there for them to answer. And like if it's a Where's Waldo puzzle or organic chemistry, like a lot of students are going to want to focus on the Where's Waldo over the organic chemistry.
Yeah, I think that this was a poor choice to do on an exam. If you had sent this home with them, it might have been marginally more acceptable, because then you could have at least told them in an email that there was no Where's Waldo in the Where's Waldo puzzle, and that this is your answer to them asking this question. But I think that overall, this was just in really poor taste and poor form.
It's like he expected the students to just, oh, well, he says he doesn't offer extra credit, so clearly this is some kind of test.
Yeah.
And that's not the way. Students will trust that the instructor has their best interests at heart. They will assume that you just changed your mind. And it's fine if you don't want to offer extra credit. Just be upfront with them about it. It's also fine if you want to give them token extra credit, because students will even if you give them like a chance for 1 or 2 bonus points, that will not in any way, shape, or form affect their grades. Students can sometimes respond really well to that. I had a professor one time who would give you 1 point on your exam if you wrote a joke. And again, like 1 point out of 100 is not going to change your grade.
I would rather offer kids a redo on either an assignment or other material in order to make sure that they fully grasp the material and focus on building up those fundamentals, than to just be like, here's a solid, hard, and fast grade, and you can't do anything to change it, right?
Well, another thing is sometimes professors do make bad exams, or because of certain constraints, like if you're, teaching a certain way for the first time, there may be situations in which it actually is your fault as an instructor, and to some degree that the student performance is low, and it's important to recognize that and accept that.
Yeah, I do think that this seems like a really poor joke and a power play. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, our next letter is titled, Will I Be a Jerk If I Propose to My Girlfriend After My Brother's Destination Wedding? My brother and future sister-in-law have a destination wedding in the Philippines, and they wanted us to fly in 2 days prior to their wedding day. However, they're not paying for any of our flights, hotel, food, etc. My girlfriend grew up in the Philippines and moved to the US at 13. She's now 27, but hasn't visited her home country at all. She has told me that she wanted to visit the country to pay respects to her late grandparents and see the beaches again. Well, since we're there, we plan to extend our stay for another week or two after my brother's wedding. And during that time, I plan to pop the question. We've talked about marriage, and she gave me the okay to propose. I was dropping off some stuff at my brother's and future sister-in-law's, and my brother joked about me getting married. I then mentioned to him that I plan to propose in the Philippines, and I explained that we are extending our stay in the country and staying at a different island after the reception. My brother was thrilled and promised not to let this bean spill. However, my future sister-in-law overheard the conversation and screamed at me not to do that. That the trip to the Philippines was all about their wedding, and I will be a major jerk if I propose. My brother chimed in and said that I wouldn't be a jerk, and that it's not like I'm proposing at their wedding/reception, and might as well make use of the travel. Future sister-in-law said that it would be taking away the attention from their wedding. All right, folks, what do you think? Taking away the attention of their wedding or not?
No, there's a couple of things at play. One, you're not proposing at their wedding or reception or immediately before their wedding or reception. Yeah, you're doing it in the time afterward. And then for two, this is also a country that has deep significant meaning to your fiance. So it just sounds like a really nice gesture. It would be like just going on a vacation there. The one thing I might caution is maybe wait a couple weeks to announce on social media and everything, just so that sister-in-law gets her day in the sun and, you know, doesn't have as much of a fit, but it's at the end of the day your choice and not hers.
I think she's being ridiculous. I think that this is an unreasonable ask. She does not own the Philippines.
Well,
right.
yeah, the whole thing like, oh, well, this is all about our wedding, even though you're staying there after they're all gone. Like,
Yeah. She doesn't own the Philippines. She doesn't own that week or those weeks afterwards. And I think that her expectation that you are not going to propose to your girlfriend in her home country where she grew up for a portion of her life is really unreasonable and a very selfish ask.
well, I agree completely. I just meant like if you want to minimize the drama, you might want to wait a couple weeks to announce it. A lot of people want to wait on their announcing their engagements anyway, but, you know, let her have her 2 weeks of spotlight or whatever. Not that anyone really is that excited about the wedding after it's over, but you know.
Yeah. So, anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright, folks, our last story is titled, Am I a Jerk for Applying for Jobs for My Husband? My husband was laid off of work almost a year ago from a very nice, high-paying job in management. It was due to some legal issues that came up. He was charged with a felony, but pled down to a misdemeanor, non-violent, sexual, or theft-related. He claims that he's been applying to jobs, but no one will call him back. Whenever I sent jobs for him to apply, he always had a reason why he didn't want to apply for it. He doesn't think it's right for him, it's too far away, we're struggling financially, and while I make a decent wage, I can't make a payment on a house, 2 vehicles, and the utilities on my own. We are barely making it. He got mad at me because I started applying for jobs for him. I applied at a few different places for him and he got upset with me. I'm frustrated, stressed, and just disappointed in him. The man I married was a hard worker, ambitious, and now he stays up all hours of the night gaming, sleeping during the day. I'm at my wit's end. All right, folks, what do you think?
I think that you just need to divorce your husband. Like, he is not pulling his weight in this relationship, and you can't force someone to have a job they don't want. But you can say, I'm not going to be in a relationship with you if you continue doing what you're doing.
Well, I mean, she's basically going to be forcing him to get a job that he doesn't want if she gets divorced, right?
Well, but that's like
Because-
a natural consequence. But I just mean, like, yeah, like you can't, like, legally, there's legal issues for applying for jobs with for people if they're not the ones applying.
Yeah, I don't think that OP should be applying for jobs for him, but I think she needs to lay down the expectation here that he has, 6 months, 4 months, a month to get a job. Otherwise, she will be moving out, right? And that he can then figure out how to help provide for himself at that point in time. So they can either work together as a team and he can get a job that's beneath him, or he can go find a job that's beneath him anyways and support himself. Anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is Tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she's got an oh so funny joke.
How can you tell that when a vampire has a cold?
Well, the way you can tell that a vampire has a cold is that they sparkle in the sunlight. And I mean, I know that when you have said, it's people who are like, oh, well, there's certain lore where vampires sparkle in sunlight, or they'll burn in sunlight, or any number of things. It's really just that if they have a cold, if they're not well, then they sparkle in the sunlight. They're a lot like regular humans, all except for that fact.
He starts coughing.
That book said better. It was a cute joke. What can I say? And I have licorice spice. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks so much for watching.
Happy Friday, Junior.
Happy Friday, Junior. Thanks to Amber for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Amber, can you provide us a moral in the form of a haiku again?
A prank is worth it to try, if and only if it is fun for all.
I think that works. I think that's a very, very good moral. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Bye.